Hi and welcome to Bandstand, where once again this week we take into Chequers Nightclub, this time to see the Everly Brothers. I've been an Everly Brothers fan from my earliest days in radio, and I'd play one of their hits at every opportunity and never get tired of them. Their songs are like that. They never seem to date. I still like them. Songs like Bird Dog, Wake Up Little Susie, Bye Bye Love, Kathy's Clown. And I don't think I'm so different. To a lot of people, MacArthur's Park just isn't quite the same. The last time the Everly Brothers were in Sydney, they played to capacity houses at the stadium. Now they're at Chequers, and I suspect the same audience is there to see them. They've made the transition from stadium to nightclub extremely well. Their act is relaxed, comfortable, very true to their recorded sound, and vastly entertaining. If you remember with affection that long string of Everly Brothers hits, you're going to love this Bandstand. If you're so young that your memory doesn't go back much further than the Beatles, you'll find it's an act and a sound that doesn't depend on old-time sake nostalgia for acceptance. You'll enjoy it, even if you've never heard of Don and Phil Everly. I'm delighted to introduce them. Ladies and gentlemen, for Bandstand, from Chequers Nightclub, the Everly Brothers.
pleasant good evening to you all. You enjoying yourselves tonight?
Yes.
Glad to hear that. Welcome to Chequers. It's a pleasure being here at Chequers in Sydney. Now, of course, we say it's a pleasure to be wherever we go, no matter where it is. We'd say that in Tasmania, if we were in Tasmania. And come to think of it, that's the only place that we haven't said it in. I don't know why. It's been about 8 years since we've been to Australia. This is our first trip in 8 years. We figured it out because 8 years ago you were just completing your opera center. And that's the way we said, we're going to come back in another 8 when you get it completed. I think it's going to be a very nice opera center when you get it finished. A very expensive opera center. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that. Yes, it'll be a nice tourist attraction. You should charge admission, you know, even to look at the place. My name is Don, and I'm the eldest of the Everly brothers. I'm the intelligent one. This is how you tell us apart. There's 2 Everly brothers. He's the other one. That's Phil in a suit like mine. He's even got a guitar like me. Mom dresses us alike. It's the reason for this. She dresses us alike even though we're not twins. I get to be the youngest next year. We trade because there's not that much difference in her age. We're only 6 months apart, and that's pretty close, you know. When you're that close, it doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. We're going to pass the secret along to you. We found out a long time ago. All you have to do in our kind of music business is remain immature. Let your hair grow and dress weird. Phil's better at being immature than I am, though. It comes natural to Phil. But my hair's longer, so I guess it works out. That last song we sang was our love ballad for the evening. We always like to include one of those, the sentimental sorts. I must tell you that particular song is a song that we sang at all the love-ins. Phil and I must admit that we are liberals and did attend and do attend the love-ins. None of the good ones, darn it, but we're always there with beads on. You having any love-ins this winter? I realize, of course, they're out of season down here. Well, Phil's voice is still a bit hoarse. From the last love-in we attended just a few days ago, before we arrived here, it was his job to holler police brutality that day. He did a very good job. Because you never know. There's always a few police around, dressed as flower children. And you can tell them they always got a plastic petunia, you know, or something. They stick out like a sore thumb. And, well, anyway, that's the way it goes. We're going to dig back into our past right now and do one of our pre-war records. This particular song... By the way, do we have any R&R here tonight? Do we? The tourists from Vietnam. Oh. No, glad to see you here tonight. Any Marines? Good. That's very good. Did you know that Phil and I were in the Marine Corps Reserves? Thank God they didn't activate us. But we had a few scary moments. As I was saying, we're going to dig back into our past now and do one of our earlier records, a song that was banned in Boston, believe it or not, when it was first released. Because if you think back, a few years ago, they weren't as liberal as they are now with what they would play on radio, and they banned this song. But a few years ago, you could sing about bananas with it. That was the reason for it. Phil still slices them up and puts them on his Rice Krispies. And sends away for a magic ring, like that's going to be good. They're beginning to ban some songs again, and they want us to send along the lyrics with each new song, so they can check the lyrics and make sure we're not saying something we shouldn't. You know, they look for words like glue. It's one they're frowning on it. You won't be hearing any songs about model airplanes for a while, so just hang on. As I said, they banned this song. We never could figure out why. It's so innocent, it shouldn't be up so late tonight, but we're going to sing it anyway. Ooh, la, la, wake up and sing it. I told her mama that you'd be in by 10. Oh, Susie, baby, looks like we used again. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. We gotta go home. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up. The movie was so hot. Didn't have much of a plot. You fell asleep. I too sick with our reputation. Shot. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Well, what are they gonna tell you, Mom? What are they gonna tell you, Mom? What are they gonna tell our friends when they say, ooh la la, wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Thank you. Did everybody hear all the words? That song goes by kind of quickly, and Phil does have a habit of mumbling when he sings. And if you miss some of the words, you miss some of the story. And that's a story song, as we say in the biz. Anybody curious tonight what that song was all about? I'm glad you asked. I was going to tell it anyway. Once upon a time, there was this young couple that went to a drive-in movie and fell asleep and missed the movie. It was an old Elvis Presley musical comedy. But that's all that happened. Isn't that disappointing? I was disappointed too. I thought a lot more had happened. But that's the way my mind works. It took me 3 years singing that song every night to figure that out. I didn't feel so bad. It took Phil a lot longer. It always takes Phil a little bit longer. Yes, we'll explain it to Phil later. Anybody here named Kathy tonight? Oh, there is. Very good. Spelt with a C, not that it really makes any difference. K? All right, we'll sing Kathy's Clown with a K. All right? People have said that I pick on Phil, and I can't understand that, but it has happened. In fact, recently I've been receiving notes and messages wherever we appear that says don't pick on Phil. They're signed anonymous, and they're written in crayon, and that's what Phil uses in all his correspondence. So I've put 2 and 2 together and figured it out. He's learning to write, among other things. Phil may not look it, but he is very sentimental. And he associates the next song we're going to sing with a romance in his life that didn't work out for him. A very sad thing happened to Phil. I hate to bring it up again, but I will now that you have asked and pestered me about it. His little red rubber duck sank in the tub. It's been very bad for Phil ever since. It's almost as bad as the day he lost his blanket, which I remember quite well because it was 3 days ago. He left it on the plane. If you do happen to find a baby blue blanket with 3 corners chewed off, would appreciate you returning it to Phil. He might be able to get some sleep. Seriously, though, people do come up to us and tell us they associate this song with a romance. It has happened. They most usually associate it with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband. Sometimes somebody else's wife, you know, somebody else's husband. That does happen. It never happens in Sydney, though, especially here at Chequers. We'll do this song. Is it happening at all? No. We'll do this song for whoever might be feeling sentimental at the moment, or has lost a little red rubber duck recently, or guilty. I guess it really doesn't matter. People have asked why we look into each other's eyes sometimes when we sing the ballads. I thought I'd clear it up. Some of the words to that last song's written on Phil's forehead. You can't see it from where you're sitting. I'm very forgetful at times, but I haven't forgotten what's coming next. It's freak-out time. Well, it's really sing-along time. If you happen to feel like singing, and you know some of the words to the next song, please join in and sing along. If you don't know the words, you can hum along like Phil does. That's all right, too. If you feel like dancing, it's a fast foxtrot, a very fast foxtrot, so get ready. It's next. Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye, happiness. Hello, loneliness. I think I'm gonna die. Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye, sweet caress. Hello, emptiness. I feel like I could die. Bye-bye, my love, goodbye. There goes my baby with someone new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She sure looks happy. happiness. That loneliness, I think I'm gonna die. Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye, sweet caress. That emptiness, I feel like I could die. Bye, my love, goodbye. I'm through with romance. I'm through with love. I'm through with counting. Everybody sing the stars above. Joy on top of old smoky. Small, I'm covered with snow. I lost my true love. According too slow, isn't that weird? Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye, happiness. Hello, loneliness. I think I'm gonna die. Bye-bye, love. Bye-bye, sweet caress. Hello, emptiness. I feel like I could die. Bye-bye, my love, goodbye. Bye-bye, my love, goodbye. Bye-bye, my love, goodbye. That was a good job of singing. That was very good. We always say that no matter how it sounds, but you were very good tonight. And I'm glad because we have a surprise for you. Microphones are hidden throughout the club tonight. And what you sang is all on tape. There's a tape machine in the back. They hid the microphones under the tables. But don't look for them. You'll get your hands in the gum. You'll get your hands in the gum? Good. The reason being, Phil and I are going to put a record out of your singing. And we're going to call you the group. And so you now are official member of a group. If the record hits, I guess you'll need a pretty big bus to travel in, but if you're going to look... But you'll have to get together amongst yourselves and figure that out. And pick a leader. Speaking of groups, though, Phil and I have a group that works with us that we're very proud of, that we would like to introduce to you now, the Tabernacle 3. We'll start over here on First Tabernacle. Well, he's really on guitar. He's not really on it. He's standing behind it. That's where he is now that we've located him. We don't know what else he's on, but he's on guitar tonight. His name is Sandy McHugh. Please give him a nice hand. And he isn't as weird as he looks. Yes, he is, come to think of it. On drums, and for those that are curious, he is standing up like that. We say this with all sincerity, though. Undoubtedly, the finest drummer in the group, bar none anywhere, even Tasmania. Jimmy Carstein. Thank you. Phil and I are fond of all kinds of songs, and there is a song that we included in an album not too very long ago that was a particular favorite of ours. We have found through the years the terminology last but not least, or least but not last. He is no relation to Gomer Pyle. His name, we get this. His name is Terrence Slater, and he plays bass. He has a song he wants us to sing for you. A song that he says is his favorite song, but we know the real reason it's only because it has little spaces in it where he can play the bass and be heard. We're going to do the song because he said he'd hold his breath if we don't. Terrence, if you get ready, we'll do the song next. That's as ready as he gets, so... We used to have good times together. slip away. It breaks my heart to see us part. So sad to watch good luck go bad. Is it any wonder that I feel so blue when I know for certain that I'm losing you? Remember how you used to feel there? Could change your mind. It breaks my heart to see us part. So sad to watch good love go bad. So sad to watch good love go bad. I think we're going to have to get him a shorter chord. That might help matters. Terence was born in London, England. He was born within the sound of bow bells. He's a true Cockney. Or a dingling one. Which is it? We haven't figured it out. Bill and I were born in Kentucky, a small town called Central City, about 60 miles from a town called Bowling Green, which happens to be the name of the next song. since I kissed you. My life's not the same now that I kissed you. Oh yeah. You got a way about you. Now I can't live without you. Never knew what I missed until I kissed you. I kissed you. Oh yeah. You don't realize what you do to me. When I do realize what a kiss could be. You got a way about you. Now I can't live without you. Never knew what I missed until I kissed you. I kissed you. Oh yeah, I kissed you. I kissed you. Thank you. There's kind of an interesting story about that song. 8 years ago, I guess, when we were here on tour, we wrote the song here in Australia, I think between shows one night. Took it back to the States, recorded it in Nashville. Became a hit, so I guess we have Australia to thank for that one. Thank you, Australia. Kept us in Cadillacs for a while. Or Phil. Phil and I do a lot of traveling in this business. This is how we get from one spot to the other when we're on the road. In the course of our travels, we've been to the capitals of the world, so to speak. London, Paris, Rome, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Saigon. Many, many other places. Except Tasmania. Why Tasmania? While we were in Italy, we recorded some songs in Italian because they speak Italian in Italy, you know. And even the little kids, it's amazing. Phil has trouble with English here. But unfortunately, Phil has a very short memory, and, you know, we recorded these songs and we're unable to do them for you tonight. Well, he doesn't remember being in Italy, so to speak, so you know. Well, yes, you had a good time, Phil. When you get a little bit older, we'll tell you about it. While we were in Italy, though, we sang a song for them that was recorded here a few years ago entitled Bird Dog. They liked the song and released it this past summer. They were a bit late, but it was all right because they released it as an American folk song. We didn't tell them any difference. We're known as folk singers in Italy. If you're in Italy and you'd like to hear the song, you'll have to ask for it under its Italian title, which I shall pass along as a pertinent bit of information. Over there, it's known as Bird Dog. But it's easy to remember. That's language lesson for tonight. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Johnny's the joker. He's the bird of everybody's joker. He's the bird for making money. The dog is joking ain't so funny. What a dog. Johnny is the joker that you're trying to get my baby in a good dog. Johnny sings a love song like a bird. He sings the sweetest love song ever heard. When he sings it like that, what a howl. To me, he's just a wolf dog on the prowl. Johnny wants to fly away and fuck it up, my baby is a bird dog. Hey, bird dog, get away from my quail. Hey, bird dog, you're on the wrong trail. Bird dog, you better eat my good color dog. Hey, bird dog, get away from my chicken. Hey, bird dog, you better get away quick. Bird dog, you better find a chicken and love your own. Johnny gets our teacher, he's a bird. He just stood up to reach her. He's a bird, but he's a chicken red now. He's a dog, but he was chicken hit now. What a dog, he's a nice teacher now. Six section, well, maybe he's a bird dog. Hey, bird dog, get away from the quail. Hey, bird dog, you're on the wrong trail. Bird dog, you better leave us alone. Hey, bird dog, get away from my chicken. that got Phil's heart started. That song's a bit difficult to duplicate on stage because we must confess that in the recording studio we used a trick, a gimmick, you know, in the recording of that record. We used mirrors, and it just doesn't sound the same when we do it on stage. It really doesn't. We'd like to sing our favorite song for you, a song that's been a favorite of ours ever since it sold 1 million a few years ago. We think it's the most beautiful song we ever had the privilege of recording. Orchestra? I bless the day I found I want to stay around you now and forever. Let it be me. Don't take this heaven from one. If you must cling to someone now and forever, let it be me. When I'm with you, love, I find complete love. Without your sweet love, what would life be? Don't ever leave me lonely. Say that you love me only, and that you always let it be. Flying feet, she's a woman that I know. That I love you. hoping you might do that. Like we're prepared. We have a song we would like to sing for you. A song that we feel is responsible for getting us out of the hubcap business and off the streets. And it's legitimate life. It's one of the very first songs that we ever sang together. This is years and years ago, I believe. It was 1932, wasn't it? This was the days when we were known as the Everly family, and we worked with our mother and father on radio. And this is one of the songs that we sang then. And it's about our home state of Kentucky. And it's appropriately entitled Kentucky.
These days fitting easily into the nightclub scene, with some of the music Bandstand cut its teeth on. A most sincere compliment I can pay them is that, like any good act, when it was all over, I wished there was more. See them if you possibly can, but book soon. Well, the film is all back from the chemist, and next week, the moment I'm sure you've all been waiting for, the Hendo's on safari in Italy, the first of 3 programs about innocents abroad in darkest Europe. See you at the airport. Good night, Australia.
Bandstand stay with Australia's largest accommodation chain, Travelodge, every time. They drive a Case Rent-A-Car and fly Ansett A&A. Live it up on the Gold Coast on an Ansett A&A Golden Jet holiday.